Alright guys, so I'm going to start this video off showing you this tractor here simply because I want to explain a couple things before I go right into this video, because it's probably not going to make a lot of sense to you guys right away. But and it's also just about a really, since I don't know when I uploaded the last one, but in reality it's probably been about a month since I've recorded for the red truck, and a lot of things kind of changed. I'm going to kind of tell you guys right now as you're looking at this tractor here. I was driving the black truck, and basically a little something happened with it, transmission related, and of course, yes, that's the only thing we haven't really touched besides the clutch yet. So that truck's gonna get pulled in very soon. It's gonna get a whole new ZF6. Yeah, the should shift so smoothly by the time we're done with that. So yeah, anyways, once that happened, I didn't even have a daily driver anymore. Remember, that was my daily driver, and the red truck was in the garage half complete, and that's kind of when it was ready. I mean, it was ready for paint, but it needed a lot of work still. It was still pretty much how we had it, was how you saw it. That's where it still was. We kind of slowed down on it because we have another project that we were working on at the time. I'm going to show you that in another video. Anyways, we then decided to really go full force with the red truck. I didn't have time to record for it, long story short, because we just want to get it done and not be distracted by anything. So I'm really sorry about that. One day maybe I'll figure out a way to have it not like that, maybe get somebody to record me the whole time. But anyways, here's the red truck. Probably looks a lot different for you guys. It's all completed now. It's probably been done for about 2-3 weeks now. There was just one weekend where we just went totally kind of crazy on it. I'll see if I have any pictures of what we did. Here she is, and if you cannot tell already, she's a shorty, a complete shorty. See the paint. I guess we'll start with the paint here, because that's kind of where we left off. Was the bed was being taken back off, I think for the chassis to be painted. So the chassis is pretty clean. We could go over it again, obviously, but it was for the first time. It came out very nice. I really do like this gloss black instead of the rubberized undercoat. I think it just turns out a whole lot better. Again, you got the undercoat on the bed though. So yeah, undercoat on the bed, paint on the frame. Just because, you know, when you're working near the frame, you're gonna get that rubberized stuff on you every time if you put it on the frame. I hate that, so that's why I did it that way. Just want to explain that for you guys. That's why I recommend it. The paint now. The paint on the bed, I want to kind of show you. Sorry, hold on. The paint on the bed, we went with automotive touch-ups. I'll try to leave a link in the description. If not, just comment. I'll send you the link. Automotive touch-up, we got their paint. And it, again, as you can see probably on the camera, it matches the color-wise. And again, this is, yeah, the color-wise, it matches very, very nice. We're going to wax it and all. Try to achieve the factory shine. Obviously it's not going to be the exact same, the shine wise, but what I like most about it is if you try to get Rust-Oleum or something, rattle can, it might look shiny, but the second you see it in the sun, you could tell the difference between the colors. When you have this paint in the sun, it is still the exact same color as the factory paint. It's just maybe not just as shiny, but I mean, for a rattle can, you know, and not paying like $2 grand to get my bed painted, the paint just came out so nice. I mean, it still is pretty shiny, if you ask me. I mean, look at that. You cannot see the difference here. And again, I'll show you, just so you can see it's a shorty. Just as much as I could get on the frame, but it's definitely short, and it looks so cool. Yeah, paint really turned out great, better than the paint we've ever done on any other truck bed, specifically black trucks. We use the same brand, Automotive Touch-Up. We learned from last time, and I think this time came out a little better. Looks great. Here's the frame here. Looks just, I mean, again, it came out a lot better than I think how I could have really imagined. I mean, honestly, I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but yeah, bed paint looks great. Also, if you want to know how our wheel well, because remember, we welded in these new arches. We didn't get a whole bedside, we did the arches. If you want to know how that came out, there's barely a ripple, guys, and I'll show you straight up. This is the angle that no one wants to look at after they do it. There is not much of a ripple at all there from welding. So again, learned from our mistakes from last time, and it came out great. Yeah, nothing more much I could say more about the bed. It fit perfectly, so that means our frame cut was right. If you're confused, if you want to see how this whole process, guys, go on the channel and you will see every single video of the process from the start, really, when I was cutting the frame of this truck. So go on the channel, look at that. Move on to the rust repair side of the truck. Just give you guys that shot first, because if you look at, go to the first video, please go to the first video of this truck and look at the rockers in the cab corner on this side and the door bottoms. Anyways, so as you might know, unless you don't know, we replaced the cab corners, inner cab corners, outer rockers, inner rockers. That upper pillar there is replaced, a new pillar, and door bottoms were all replaced on this truck. So yes, literally everything on the cab was replaced because it was rotted out. Some may say, well, why don't you just get a new cab? Well, I don't really feel like spending a couple grand on a cab. This is a lot cheaper way to do it, and if you look now, looks pretty good in my opinion for what I have into this build. So yeah, cab corner. The cab corner again just turned out great. You really would, especially on this one, you would not be able to tell this stuff was replaced, in my opinion. So yeah, outer rockers got all the same automotive touch-up paint on it, and it just looks great. Door bottoms, don't mind that. For now, that's where paint was. That's where tape was for some reason, which is why it didn't get painted. But yeah, door bottoms came out great. See no rust here. Even go on the outside, because this door actually had, even on the outside of the door, there was a little hole from rust right in the corner here. Placed that, smoothed it with Bondo, and again, painted over it. It just looks, honestly, it looks outstanding, in my opinion. You might have seen the interior when I opened up the door there. I'm gonna get to that, just wait a minute. Bring it around to the other side here. So on this side here, same deal, turned out just as great. Got that whole cab corner there, outer rocker, all that. Pillars were extremely hard to do, but we got them done. And again, the door bottoms, and I want to kind of tell you guys, remind you guys, if you're gonna be doing this, please make sure you buy these seals for the door bottoms when you're done, or you're kind of waiting for it to happen again. If you don't have these on the bottom, water will literally from the street, you'll see it after you're driving. Water is literally all on here, and it'll go up these little holes that are on the door bottoms. We actually sealed them. There's holes under these seals that come on the four door bottoms, and when water gets in here, it goes straight into the holes into the door, which causes the door bottom to rot out. So make sure you get these seals for it. And again, really turned out great. Under the truck here, there's our own cab supports. Sprayed a bunch of undercoat on them. And honestly, do not look bad. I think I told you guys before, there's really not a way to make these look very pretty, but I think they look better than the last ones we did, to be honest. Getting better and better at them, especially that one. Those are hard to do. So again, I just want to show you guys, because instead of what a lot of people will do, just buy a whole cab, or buy a whole rust-free cab, or buy a whole rust-free bed. If you're on a little bit of a budget, we got all new panels for this truck, and it was a whole lot less money. So yeah, we'll move on to the interior now. I'll start from the other side. All right, guys. So to cover the interior now, all this might look very familiar to you, but I think it looks a lot better in this truck. These are the These came out of a 2019 takeout seats from a F-350. It's from a Super Duty of the 2019 year. They're vinyl leather seats, and they look absolutely great in this truck. Obviously, because this actually has a gray dash. I used to have these seats in my black truck that had a tan dash, and they looked great, except I ended up finding King Ranch seats that match the tan dash even better than this. So But these seats look great. Same thing with the carpet here. This was the carpet out of that was in the black truck when I was running these seats, but I switched to a tan carpet in that truck when I went with King Ranch, and decided to keep this carpet for this truck when I put these seats in, and just cut the back because the black truck's an extended cab, and it ended up fitting. This was probably the quickest carpet install I've had because we had the holes pre-cut and everything. It's really made it easy. And what's really cool is with the seats, if you're wondering how I mounted them, I actually have a whole video on this channel, so just look on the video section of this channel of how to install 2017 to 2020 F-350 seats in a 99 to 04 truck. So look at that if you're wondering. But I already had the holes were obviously in the carpet already, so once I laid the carpet out, gave me a good idea of where the holes should be. Obviously I test fitted it again to make sure, but it made it a lot easier to get these bolts down under there and in. And yep, no center console, guys. I think it looks really, right now I think it looks really cool without a center console. I mean, you might have your own opinions. I know some people love the storage there, but it just kind of looks sporty, kind of like a coupe. I don't know. It's like a sports car. It's like a truck sports car, if that makes any sense. Just about the center console looks clean. Also, center consoles really bug me with the shifters on these with the ZF6. Yes, this is a ZF6, guys. All of our trucks are manuals. Really bugged me kind of shifting with the center console on these, unless there's the one, if you look at the one in the black truck, that's the only center console I'll run. And maybe if I find a gray one for this I'll put it in, but it's the only one that I'm comfortable shifting with. Also has a great amount of storage. So yeah, guys, 2017 seats turned out great, and it just looks, when you open the door, it just looks so much better than those cloth ones. Just a lot more modern, great looking. I want to remind you guys to put, so I'm trying to go over everything. This is the whole build recap, I think, this video. I put new front shocks on when I was bored one day. I think we were waiting on a part or something, so I put those new front shocks on. And I think this is the last real thing to get this. Obviously, I've already showed you guys where the frame was cut. You probably, wow, that's actually cool. You have to really look to find it. But the frame was cut right around there, Z-cut, and welded back together. We'll get to the inside of the bed now, because this is its own really cool part. And yes, guys, no rear bumper on it. Not running rear bumper. I think it looks really tough. I mean, say what you could, feel free to let me know what you think about it. But no rear bumper with that hitch, with the receiver on it, and where that plate is. I just think it's really tough, cool looking, especially with the whole shorty concept of it. I just think that back shot looks really cool. But we'll open the tailgate here, show you guys what we did here, because I don't think I ever showed you guys the final fuel tank or any of that. Sorry, again, I'm sorry, guys. I wish I recorded. You know, I simply could not. It was a time. Yeah, and we got it done, so I don't regret it at all. But okay, get into the bed. I'll start with the fuel tank and then get to what brand liner is in this. All right, guys, so as I mentioned in probably previous videos, we did end up successfully mounting the fuel tank in the bed here. Obviously, we thought about it before, but it fit perfectly. It is under this, I'll get to that actually, but it's under this cover here. You can't even see it, but it's under there. It's literally a stock Ford tank. I think it's like the 31 gallon, 32 gallon Ford tank. It's the stock one, so that's what's under it. So still have a full fuel capacity in this thing, which I think is really cool. And if you're wondering why I did this on a 4-wheel drive shorty, realistically you cannot fit any tank, the short bed tank or the long bed tank, under there where it would be factory. You simply really can't. I mean, you could run, I think Ford made a different shaped tank for like the cabin chassis trucks. Sure, you could buy that. This idea just really kind of seen it. It made a ton of sense in my opinion, and it's totally functional. So really, there was no point. I feel like it's the same amount of work. It is the same amount of work to try to bolt in that cabin chassis tank than do this here. And I think this is just really cool. It kind of adds to the character of the truck and really what we did with this build here. So After we put the tank in, we mounted it with these brackets back here. So there's brackets on each side, and then you probably can't see, might be able to see the hinge of it. That's a factory fuel tank strap that would be underneath, and we used that on both sides here. And those straps went back over, and you'll be able to, hopefully you can see under this, there's a piece of angle iron welded on here, and that's where those straps ended up being bolted to. You can't see it, it's under this cover. Yeah, that's how we mounted the tank. It does not move, it is still. And if you want to see how we ran fuel lines, I believe that's in another video. So just go look at that. There's probably like fuel tank fitment in the title or something. It's in a video somewhere. Pretty simple though, just pretty much rubber hose and a little bit of combination of fuel lines, Ford fuel lines we had laying around to make it pretty reliable, because there's still the factory stock clip-ins on some of the fuel lines, which makes it secure and, you know, good to go. This thing, honestly, you can drive this thing anywhere. It's pretty cool. Okay, the cover on it. Really tried with this one, and it took a lot longer than I think anyone would ever expect to try to make this. This is I made it myself. This was a toolbox. This is actually the toolbox that was on the truck before we tore it down. If you want to look back, it's the same exact toolbox. So yeah, I ended up cutting it a million. When I say a million times, we literally cut this thing a million times, and it's actually flipped upside down to make it fit like that. So yeah, unbolted the top of the lid of it first, flipped it upside down. Did that so that the bottom, we wanted the bottom as wide as possible so we could clear this angle iron here. And then it really went from there. Kept retest fitting, taking some measurements, cut the sides first. See here how much we cut so that it would fit over the tank. Really tried to hide the tank as best as we could, and I'll show you in a second when I get out. It looks really clean when you take a step back. What else did we do? These back cuts here, these were absolutely terrible to cut. I mean, I still do have to take this box off and grind the edges, but I mean, this was one of the more, it might sound funny, but this was one of the more painful tasks I think I did. It was just, it's the material of this. It's so cheap and thin. Trying to cut it with anything was just not fun. But I'll show you again, guys. Cut it around so it would fit and drop down over the brackets there. Yeah, and then lastly, once we figured out it fit perfectly, also, yeah, had to cut these sides. That angle, didn't have to do it on that side, but this side I did, so that it would fit with the way that the bed kind of curls there. And then obviously, last but not least, took it off, took some measurements, put like a little line on the bed there, and a line I think there. It was so that we could, I forgot exactly what it was, so that we could find or attempt to find where the filler is on this. So we did that, cut a little bit once, checked to see if we looked through the hole to see if it was, if we were anywhere near it. We were. Cut bigger and bigger each time. It's kind of a guess and check thing, guys. It really is. It's the only way to do it. Once we did that, once we had the hole big enough, we ground it down, made it look clean like this, and it worked. Before we did that, actually, sorry, I skipped a little part. We really cut down the filler, as you can see. Really cut it down, cut the boot on it down a lot to make it as short as possible, so you really can't see it while you're driving. Somebody else can't see it. Because I don't want it popping out of the bed. I think that looks a little, I don't know, it was a little too much for me. You'd see it a little bit, which I think is cool, but not too much. That's how I wanted it. The vent still works, shorten that as well. I could literally put a diesel, I could put a nozzle in here at the pump, lock it, and go get a snack, and it'll be fine. It doesn't overflow or anything, which is really, really cool. And the gauge still works. We wired that down. Again, go look at that video to see how we did that. It's actually pretty cool. What we have in the bed was obviously, when you paint we didn't want to paint the inside of the bed, kind of a waste of money and a waste of paint. It was that teal color, and it was god awful. Also, the inside of the bed was a little bit, it was really beat up, and I wanted something to kind of cover that and take away that nasty color. And I actually found this brand Herculiner. It's a roll-on, I'm sure you guys have heard of it before, but somebody just went to the auto parts store, found the Herculiner. I would honestly, I would actually really recommend it. It is some really cool stuff. The texture of it is really cool. You can kind of see it there. It dries, and I can tell you right now, this stuff will never come off. If you get it on your hands, it literally takes a week to come off your hands. But yeah, stuff with 2 coats on the bed. I recommend 2 coats. That's the way we did it. You can still see sometimes. You can still see a little bit through if you do 1 coat. 2 coats really did it though, and it just made the inside of the bed look really clean. And overall, here, this is what I want to show you. See how clean that toolbox looks when you take a step back? It just, I mean, totally worth the time and all to do that. So yeah, got the tailgate on here. Yeah guys, I mean, I'm not sure what I'm missing. You know, I'm sorry if I am missing anything. I could go around this truck for literally 30, we're already at 22 minutes here. Jeez, but all right, I guess I'll wrap it up now, guys. If you have any questions on it, please, if I missed anything, please comment. Please just comment. You know, I will answer your question on anything with this truck. And no, it is not done yet. There's, as all the trucks we have, there's probably something else we'll end up doing to it. But this is really the first phase that's done, and the whole idea really was to kill the rust, replace all the rust panels, and to make the thing a shorty while we're at it. I think we really did accomplish it there. For the final shot, I'll give you guys that side shot again. Yeah, it's short, but thank you guys so much for watching and watching the whole build. I'm sorry it had to be this one big long video of it complete, and you didn't get to see the final painting parts and installing the interior and all. Kind of had to do what I had to do, get the truck done. But don't be scared or anything. Another reason why I couldn't record, there's a whole other project going on the side of this that I have not shown you guys yet, and it is pretty cool, and I really don't think you guys will be disappointed with that one. So really stay tuned for that. I have all the stuff recorded. I just got to edit some videos on it to get the whole series started. So stay tuned for that, guys. Again, thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think on how the build came out. Thanks.